Hello, Internet. I'm Joe.
I'm Eric.
And I bought Overwatch Pop Finals. Yay!
Oh my gosh!
And you're listening to Just Cool Enough. And guys, I didn't fuck it up. I thought I fucked it up. I was convinced that I fucked it up. Turns out that's just my brain telling me I fucked it up. Everything's fine.
Brains get fucked up. Sometimes brains will tell you fucked it up, but
You're
didn't.
like, yeah, and it's like, that message hasn't gotten a reply in 12 hours. I fucked it up. Everything's ruined. My life's over. Everything's ruined. And then another 5 minutes go by and you get a reply and you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't fuck it up.
Back in it. Back in it. Or sometimes like
That
my
one
brain,
Instagram like didn't completely like ruin everything.
This is how my brain works. It's like, oh, Joe, slam dunk, you killed it. And then but I actually, in my deeper brain, it's like, Joe, you didn't do that good. Settle yourself down.
That's one of the things, like, that's, yeah, I had improv practice last night, and they're doing this thing now where with the teams at the Nerdist School, they give you sort of individual notes. The teachers all got together and they talk about, what they've seen from you and what they want to see going forward in the next 6 months. And my note was basically like, he told me, he's like, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, you know how those guys act? Yeah, be confident. Like he's like, you're good. Just fucking be kind of a dick. Like, you're too patient. You're too nice on stage. Be kind of a dick. I was like, okay.
So sometimes what you got to do is you have to pretend to have confidence, and then you pretending just makes confidence happen.
Well, that's what I'm doing it right now in a situation I won't delve too many details in, but I'm approaching this situation that is as not like presenting myself as someone who I'm not, but presenting myself as the person I would be in like 2 or 3 weeks. Like, skipping to that version of me and not being like the version of me that I tend to be in the first week or two. I'm gonna go straight to week 3, Eric. Comfortable Eric.
Well, no, okay. So like, I heard an analogy. Not even an analogy. I heard a story of like, okay, so like a soldier doesn't have, like a soldier that needs to be brave in a moment just goes out there and rescues his buddy from the street and like brings the buddy back in. And he wasn't brave, but he was acting brave in that moment. But everybody else just thinks he's brave all the time. So like you just keep you do it enough, and then people just think you are, and then you are the thing that you wanted to be.
Yep.
So if you can convince people you're that, and you can convince yourself you're that, then you must be that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a Gordian. Is it a Gordian knot? Gordian knot. Gordian.
Do you know what the Gordian knot is?
No, I don't.
It has nothing to. Gordian knot is a knot that is supposed to be impossible to unfurl, and then Alexander the Great simply cut it open as like a dick move, and he's like, "Bitch, I did it."
Right. Like your mind is in that knot, and then you just got to cut through it like a dick move. You just got to be confident and cut through it. That's what I meant.
Yeah,
I actually was just trying to say circular logic, but I was going way off in the weeds.
Yeah. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
See what happens when you try to sound smart? Doesn't work.
Yeah. Use little words, idiot.
There's this this book series I loved as a kid, and I still enjoy. It's probably one of my favorite. That I haven't read it. I got to reread. But it's called The Belgariad by David Eddings. And there's this one character in it. He's a knight, and he's like it's a fantasy book series, and his sort of like his country is like very sort of medieval knights in shining armor, and that's what he is. And he's like the epitome of like good chivalrous knight, and he's never felt fear in battle. And then they fight these monsters that when they like touch you just cause you to be afraid. That's just kind of what these weird monsters do. And this is the first time in his life he's ever felt fear. So he's like, I am a coward now. I have never felt fear before. I am a coward. And then he talks to like this blacksmith who's not a fighter, but he fights anyways. He's like, what do I do now that I'm a coward? He's like, I'm afraid all the time. He's like, but you fight with bravery. He's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. Every moment I'm scared. I'm a blacksmith. I'm not supposed to be here.
See, there you go. It's the same thing. You just fake it till you make it.
That's what we do every week on this show. I mean, we're not podcasters, but we show up every week and pretend we can't. So it's like we kind of are now.
And somehow thousands of people have downloaded the show.
Maybe tens of people have downloaded the show.
Tens. Yeah. Some way.
And 100 people.
And moms. All moms. They're all moms. They all did it. Hey, yeah. So this week on the show, we were going to talk about, a little bit later, we're going to talk about our our top podcasts we listen to. But we have some emails sent to our email inbox. If you want to send us an email, you can. Our email address is theshow@justcoolenough.com. Again, that email address is theshow@justcoolenough.com. Also, we have a live chat room, and there's live people in there right now. We got at least 2 of them.
At least 2 live people. One might be dead. We don't know, but there are some living people in there as well.
Yeah.
If you want to go view the live, possibly dead people, it's like
It's a mortuary. You want to come view the dead people? Come check it out.
Purgatory of the internet. Go check it out. JustCoolEnough.com/live. Our show airs live every week at 6:30 Eastern Time, and we want to thank Alpha Geek Radio for giving us this lovely live chat room. So thank
Speaking of emails, though, before we get straight into the emails, I wanted to thank Chaos Sage, a long-time listener.
yeah.
He was like, I was sitting here, and then like I got this message on Steam, and he was like, oh yeah, happy late birthday, and he got me Small World 2 and Dark Souls Prepare to Die edition, and I was like, oh thanks. I mean, I didn't get it.
He gave you Dark Souls?
Yeah, he gave me Dark Souls, which is awesome, because I played it on like the PS3, I think, but I played it for a long time, but didn't get very far. And I installed it, and then I played it, and then I died to the first giant monster, as everyone does. But I thought, I've beaten this monster. I got this. And I got pretty close for my first shot and died, and then immediately just Alt F4 and got pissed off. So thank you, Chaos Sage, but also fuck you, Chaos Sage. I don't need this in my life. I'm feeling good about myself for once, and then you got to bring this bullshit on me.
Maybe that's what gave you the confidence to go forward.
No, this was after when I was feeling bad and I wanted to punish myself.
Oh, okay, yeah, I understand. So, yeah, if you are listening and you haven't given us your feedback yet on what podcast you listen to, send them into the email address. Or actually on the Facebook page, we have I've been doing a post every week on the Facebook page, so go like our Facebook and not only like it, but go up to the thing and hit the subscribe button or the follow button so we can actually talk to our Facebook listeners. Because what happens is Facebook has an algorithm that only allows us to access like 10% of the people that like our page unless they like super follow us. So you got to go to the page.
Or we pay money.
Or if we pay money. And we not only do we're not willing to pay money, we don't have any money. So if you want to donate so we can
You've actually paid your own money a couple of times.
Yeah, I paid my own money, but not just Cool Enough money.
Because we don't have any.
Yeah, and then my wife gets mad at me. She's like, Joe, what is this on the budget? I'm like, oh, I just want to do some Just Cool Enough. She's like, that show again? It's ruining our relationship. I'm like, it's all I have.
Except for you.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, like, in podcast world.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, like...
My favorite top 3 podcasts are mine, because that's all I listen to.
We'll talk about that soon, but let's go to the emails.
we have a few emails this week.
We got a bunch.
We did.
Take up the whole show.
But I don't know if so. Well, yeah, I'll just start from the top. This is from Brady, our favorite longtime listener. Says, "Hey JC crew, my top. Well, we'll get to that later. Do I want to open that? Do we want to open that just yet?
No,
we'll go with Andrew.
No, that was huge. We want to go to
it's huge. It's not the huge part that I'm worried about. It's the fact that his was on topic.
Yeah, well, we can skip to. There's a very small sentence at the bottom we can read.
Oh, that's true. All right.
Let's do it.
From Brady and done. No, he says if you guys are talking about E3, Watch Dogs 2 looks really cool, and I'm interested in Agents of Mayhem from Saints Row guys. Sick of VR already? He didn't actually say question mark, so I'm sick of VR already.
I don't think he was asking a question. I think he's sick of VR
already. Making a statement.
Agents of Mayhem looks interesting. I mean, it looks kind of fun. It kind of reminds me of, this has been brought up, the game Fuse, back when it was called Overstrike, before they turned it into a shitty cover-based shooter named Fuse. Yeah. It looks interesting, but again, it was a cutscene, so we don't see any gameplay trailers. But I like the Saints Row games just fine. The new Zelda game looks great. I actually haven't been paying attention to E3 that much. It was kind of it kind of came, and I was like, oh shit, it's E3. Oh fuck! I I didn't watch any of the press conferences. I was like catching up. I'm actually kind of interested in Quantic Dreams. They got a new movie called Detroit Being Human, which is an awful name, but as all of their
great name. It is a great name, and it sounds amazing.
All their names are awful, but it seems like it's building on the promise that I felt for Heavy Rain, because the whole idea is like, at least according to the gameplay trailer, you are like a cyborg policeman, and like they show like this event go by, and he's like a hostage negotiator, and like shit happens, and then it's like, oh, but it didn't have to be that way if you went and like thought, like there's a bunch of different endings, and that's what I loved about Heavy Rain, which they didn't quite accomplish as well as I would have liked. But if it is kind of like that freeform, more choose your own adventure-y, like where my actions have consequences and I build my own story, which is something that they always promise but never deliver, that would be very exciting.
Yeah, I think that actually looks like it might deliver on it. If the trailer sticks true to the premise that they're trying to shove down our throat with the trailer, I think it'll work. Because it looked like if every mission could be that complex, then like, oh, okay, you know, we saved the girl. Oh no, the girl fell off the thing. Oh, okay, actually I'm a robot, you're a robot, we're friends, and you know, there's so many different ways it can go. Go watch the trailer, it's fun. The worst part about the E3 thing for me, was it Ubisoft? There was this Woo girl that she was like mic'd up really bad. I didn't watch everything, but I saw some of the highlights, and she made like everybody's highlight reel of just yelling really loud. I think she was part of some sort of development team when they were releasing stuff. But every time they were talking, after like people would applaud, she'd just be like, "Woo! Woo!" And she hit this octave that was like, you know, that octave that is just a little bit too high and just annoying enough. Like that's where she
almost
was at.
where the realm where dogs can hear it, but you can still kind of pick it up.
Yeah, it's like it's there, but with a little bit of bass. It was bad. So she basically ruined a press conference with her woo girling. So yeah, I figured we could talk about games a little bit, but there's so many.
I wasn't prepped for it.
Yeah.
I would have prepped more.
Yeah, there's so many other podcasts cover that stuff.
The problem is, I'm a PC gamer now, so half of this shit doesn't apply to me at all. So it's like, as excited as I am for like the new Zelda game, I don't have a Wii U. I don't expect I'm going to get one anytime soon.
Don't get a Wii U. Wait for the NX.
I mean, God of War 4, if that's what we want to call it, looks interesting, but I don't have a PlayStation, and I don't expect I'm going to get one anytime soon. I'm kind of all in on this PC gaming thing. I spent enough fucking money on it, you know, I'll get the ones that come out. And also, I've been like on the hype train long enough to know that half of these games won't come out, and the other half will have the graphics and half of the content that looks interesting gutted from them before release. So, you know.
Well, I don't really pay attention to any of the gaming stuff out there. If it's not put out by Blizzard, fuck it. No. I mean, again, also being a PC gamer, I mean, we have an old N64 in the other room. We actually have a Wii U because that's what Amanda uses to game on. I don't play it a whole lot.
I just want to plug the our justcoolenough.com/live chat room. Eric from Top Center Podcast was late, and he says he's sorry and has no excuse. There is no excuse. He shouldn't be late. You know, we start at 6:30. We've been doing it for 300 whatever episodes. Come on, guys. Okay, yeah, if you're gonna be an avid listener, I expect perfection. Yeah. So, okay. So
speaking of late, we do have a long-winded email. I would like to. I know it's really long, but I mean.
And then we can follow it up. We just got an email that's really, really short and stupid.
Oh,
we can read that, too.
This one's from Andrew. He says, I love you guys. This email is just me being emotional, so don't expect anything worth reading. We're going to read it anyway. I discovered WC Radio back in 2006. I was 9 years old. My family had just moved houses, and I wasn't fitting in. My escape was WoW, and the wonderful shows hosted by yourselves and others. It's scary to think that you guys were my role models.
Frightening.
So
the word is frightening.
It's a miracle I've turned out as well as I have over the past 10 years. I've grown up, made friends, went through school, got into university, started a job, got in shape, traveled to other countries, and whenever I need help, I always knew that show and the game would be there. On my summer break, I just got the news that I passed first year university, and I was thinking, what What could I get myself for a job well done? As soon as I saw it, I knew exactly what I wanted: a subscription to the game for the summer. I lost the game. Damn it! The summer of rediscovering my old love and catching up on the show and people that got me through so many hard times. Might not. I'm getting all choked up. Might not sound like much coming from a kid, but I've been through a lot. At some of my lowest points, I never thought I would make it, but I've done it. 10 years, 10 whole years. It sounds cheesy, but more on the occasion. You guys really saved my life, and I can't thank you enough for it. It's taken me an hour to type all this, and I burst into tears a couple of times, so I'll wrap up before I die of dehydration. Aww. In this moment, I am as happy as a person as I could ever be because of you guys. If you're ever feeling down, I hope you can read this email and know how amazing you are. I'm really embarrassed about writing all of this, but it can brighten up your day. It was even a little worth it, pouring my heart out, rather. Sorry about not being show appropriate. I promise I'll come up with some good questions next time. Thank you.
Yeah, seriously, fuck you, man. What the hell? This email didn't ask one question. You don't even listen. Don't even. No.
Andrew, man, like this is the reason that I podcast. This is seriously. It's not for the millions of dollars and all the flashy cars. It's for stuff like this because I'm in the same boat. You know, like these shows. They affect you. You have friends that you can turn to week in and week out that you listen to and you learn their personalities and you grow a relationship with them. I'm talking as a listener, and so I feel like honored that you feel this way about our show and about the shows and things that we've done. So I can't thank you enough for sending something like this, and I hope that we have so many more episodes for you to enjoy and grow and learn. And I mean, like
I got another 4 enemy tops.
Well, I mean, every day.
Also, I don't know how to deal with my emotions yet. I'm working on it, so I just make jokes.
Yeah, I know. Jokes are a good way to just
deflect.
Yeah, deflect. That's the strategy I developed. That's my armor.
Yeah. You wait, dude. You wait.
He had the skill into that. He even took extra armor to make sure his deflection skill was high enough.
That's Eric's trait. That's his. Like everybody has their own.
I spec into it. So as long as I have a joke ready, I actually have more armor than I should. So I'm always ready to. As long as I've got one queued up,
He's also never caught flat-footed or unawares, so he always has a joke. So those two work really well with each other.
You have no idea how much I will throw myself under the bus if it means deflecting myself from feeling.
I know exactly how much you throw yourself under the bus every freaking week. Thanks again, man. I did you want to say anything before we move on?
No. Nope.
Okay, cool.
Nope.
Yeah, see, this is why podcasting's a good topic. There's so many shows out there. We have one more quick email before we transition to our main topic, I think.
Yeah. This is from Swag, fuck, Marry, Kill, Varys, Littlefinger, and Pycelle.
This is so good. Oh my gosh, so for people that don't know these guys, Varys, Littlefinger, Littlefinger, and Pycelle from Game of Thrones.
There are 3 characters from the Game of Thrones, 3 sort of minorish characters, and the question is marry, fuck, kill. Which ones? I would say, I'd marry Littlefinger for the money.
No way. Yeah. I'd fuck Littlefinger. He's like the only good-looking dude in this lot.
That's not important to me. Also, Varys is a handsome dude, and Varys
isn't Varys a eunuch?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's why he'd be good to have sex with, because.
If
you're not keen on receiving, you know that you can always give.
You know what I would do? This is terrible. I'd kill Littlefinger because he's a shisty bastard. Nobody knows.
They all are. All 3 of them are the most terrifying liars and sycophants you can find in the entirety of the show.
I would marry Varys. Yeah. And I would kill Pycelle because he's really old.
Well, then you would fuck Littlefinger? See, yeah. I would marry Littlefinger, fuck Varys, because honestly, I agree with his politics, and then I would kill Maester Pycelle because that old fuck is the worst of them.
He's not the worst. What are you talking about?
The other thing although I do believe Littlefinger is kind of like a really good drug dealer where he wouldn't sample his own
that's why you
wares,
don't kill him.
but I would be a little skeptical. Maybe at some point he gave in to his desires, and he might have an STD or two. Or
My,
four.
Well, I'm just
my
saying-
problem is Littlefinger can't be trusted, and
None
I
of them
think that
can.
okay, no. I think that Pycelle and Varys has both demonstrated that they have at least some sort of code about
I agree.
them, right?
That's why I
But
say
Littlefinger's
that's why
a dick.
I
You gotta
marry-
kill him.
That's why you marry Littlefinger, so you attach, because he's an inherently selfish character, whereas Varys and Pycelle are actually fairly selfless. I agree with Varys' politics more than Pycelle's.
I think fuck Pycelle, kill Littlefinger, and marry Varys.
Just don't fuck Parcells. That's a whole different thing. That's football.
Under 12 parcels.
That's not even a unit of.
I went through the Westeros system in under 3 Littlefingers.
Oh God.
Yeah. Check
Sometimes
that.
I think you're not funny and you shouldn't talk anymore, Joe.
I think right. Let's transition into a different topic because Game of Thrones, right?
You're like trying too hard. It's sad.
No,
It's
that's
sad.
that's on my character sheet. That's my thing.
That's why you guys balance each other out so well, and I'm kind of in the middle because Joe tries too hard. You don't try hard enough.
And what are you then?
I'm just the guy in the middle guy.
Yeah, you just show up.
You're consistently funny? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, he's like-
I'm not consistently funny, but I'm not inconsistently funny either. I'm somewhere in the
He
middle.
waits. He's like a sniper. He just sits there in silence, and then he's like, "Fucking joke," and then it kills, and then he's out. He's out. He's like does the thing, and he's out. Just in and out, in and out.
Then okay, if we're doing that, then what are you, Eric?
I'm the guy who's
You're
just
front.
I'm just like the natural master of it, and I don't even try. I could be amazing if I tried, if I put any effort, but I don't. So I'm just
He's
kind
like
of okay.
the engineer of Team Fortress 2. Like he'll build stuff and like he'll throw it out
Yeah.
there. It's pretty good, but he
I'm
doesn't
like-
try. He doesn't need to. He's
I'm
got other things.
I'm like Torbjorn from Overwatch. Like he's a great character, but everyone plays him because they think he's easy. He could be even better than people play him, but they like, no, I'm just
They
gonna
don't
sit up
try,
and turret. Yeah. If
Okay,
you
so your Overwatch character is Torbjorn?
yeah.
Okay, then who's Ike?
I'm like Symmetra. I put up the turrets on the walls and hope
You
people
don't
walk into
realize
them.
you don't
Got two,
realize
like,
how
fat-
amazing
like,
he is until you're like, oh man, that fucking portal is clutch right there.
That
Like,
that player of the game at the very end. That's all. That's what I'm here for. I'm just trying to get the player of the game.
Who am I then?
you are a bad Junkrat. Because you're like, I've got my ultimate, and then you like blow it up and nothing happens.
Or an even worse like Roadhog, because his ultimate just it sprays everywhere but isn't really super effective.
Yeah.
But people like they're like, oh my god, it's happening. Oh, whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
No,
Just
yeah.
walk
Okay.
over here, he won't hit us because he's too slow on turning. Yeah.
If you want to start a podcast and talk about video games, you can with ShoutEngine.com. Start a podcast for free in under 5 minutes. And if you need some help, I will be happy to help you. Email support@ShoutEngine.com. I'll be there for you.
Maybe you could let us know, and you might be one of our top 3 podcasts someday.
That's true. That is absolutely true. Speaking of top 3 podcasts, I couldn't come up with just 3 guys. I
Okay.
came up with a list of. I couldn't. There's so many.
No,
podcasts.
3 was the rules. This is the
Yeah,
top
that
3, Joe. This
I
is
made
the
the
rules that we have
rules. I will
established.
break the
No,
rules.
you can't do that. That's going to, because then next week one of us is going to show up with like 12 of something as well, and the whole system begins to break down, Joe. Everything goes to shit after that.
God, you just sometimes.
I mean, it's already doing it. Brady sent us 4. I mean, fucking.
Oh my God, Brady. Jeez. Well, maybe we should.
I'm
start
only
with
reading
Brady's-
3.
Let's,
I'm only going to
let's-
read 3 of them.
Let's start with Brady's email here.
In fact, I'm going to read 1, 3, and 4. I'm not going to read
Oh.
number 2.
Shit.
Good, that's fine with me.
So Brady says, "Hey JC crew, top 5 podcasts." By that I mean top favorite podcasts, other than JC, of course. So actually, I'm only going to read 2 of them because we're one of them. The Dick Show, hosted by Dick Masterson, after falling out with his host on the previous podcast, Dick and a rotating co-host discuss what makes them rage.
It makes them a rage.
A rage. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important because that's how he says it on the Dick
They
Show.
discuss what gives them a raging boner.
No, yeah, kind of sometimes. The Dick Show actually, they're only in episode 3 now. They've just released episode 2. That is a great show. It came out of actually Brady's second pick here.
Well, I was skipping that. I told you I'm not reading. No, I'm just kidding. The biggest problem in the universe, hosted by Maddox and Dick Masterson. This podcast had the host arguing over different problems, which listeners could then vote up or down on the site. It has ended now, but I still listen to the old episodes all the time.
That show was great. It spawned the Dick Show. The Dick Show is really good. Go check out Dick Masterson's show.
30 says lore dives into truth behind scary stories and folk tales.
Ooh.
And finally, he said the Memory Palace, a podcast, uncovers interesting tales from the past.
I haven't heard of the last 2. But I know I talk with Brady off air, and I just don't talk to Brady just here. I talk to him on Facebook.
You talk to people?
I do. I love the listeners, but it's only to stroke my own ego, so don't get ahead of yourself.
And Junkrat.
And Junk. No, but we were talking, and he sent me a picture of how many podcasts he listens to. Normally, I listen to the most podcasts out of anybody because I listen to like over 25. I've subscribed to over 25 active.
That's going to be my
podcasts.
next podcast, over 25.
That's. Let's start it right now with shoutengine.com. I should have done a lot more work, like tying in more ads to this section. Yeah, I liked all those podcasts. Eric, did you wanna talk about how many podcasts and like what do you subscribe to?
My podcast sort of ebbs and weighs my listenership, mostly when I've got a reason to listen to, usually like a video game or something like that. Like weeks back when I was playing Stardew Valley like all day, every day, I was listening to.
What about Xanadu Valley?
That joke's never been funny. It's one of Joe's.
I know. I keep trying to push it for him. Again,
Yeah.
Junkrat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep sending you that $5 of the Just Cool Enough money if you can make my jokes funny.
Yeah. So like it kind of ebbs and flows.
Can't be done.
It's definitely on a bit of an ebb right now. I haven't been actively listening to a lot of podcasts. But
What do you do when you get a heavy flow?
I mostly just shove a tampon up there and go about my day. There's only one real podcast that I listen to basically constantly, but Joe's going to talk about it anyway, so I'll skip to something else. The show that I really enjoy used to be called Dismal Jesters, and I was a huge fan of Dismal Jesters. It was Conrad Zimmerman, Jim Sterling, and Jonathan Holmes, and it was just this really weird, stupid show where most of it was them actively sexually harassing Jonathan Holmes and then making fun of Willem Dafoe, which was amazing. And since then, they have a new show now. I think I've plugged before, called Fish Shark Marketing. And what's great, it's very well edited. It's usually cut down into like 35-minute little bits every week, and it's basically almost entirely pure improv, and the crux of it is they are marketing executives at this fictional place called Fish Shark Marketing, and they talk about the various things they are marketing, like Willem Dafoe movies or just weird like products that like cause people's teeth to fall out, like cereal that causes your teeth to fall out, and like how to market it properly, and it's great.
What is that one called again? Fish Shark Marketing?
Yep, Fist Shark Marketing.
Oh, fist. Like fisted, fist shark. Okay.
Yeah. It's great, and the episodes are about half an hour apiece, and so it's just this fun little thing of like talking about whatever weird ass fucking. They usually do like 3 segments or something like that, and it's usually like famous actor or like weird product or like inner office politics. Like they slowly like build the world of this like office that they live in that has like a basement that has R&D that's like run by a guy named Dr. Night Scream, and like just all this world they build for this fictional marketing executive office.
Perfect. Well, that's cool. Like I'm gonna have to add that to my list of things I listen to, because you plugged it before and it sounded funny, and just you describing it made me cackle with joy. So I will now do that. Ike, what do you got? What do you listen to each week?
We're just sharing one at a time. Is that our
Yeah.
Well, I would throw out there one of my favorite, and I've gone back and listened to all of the backlog of this, is Radiolab. It's everything in a podcast that I wish this one was.
That is way too much work. Radiolab, I think, is probably one of the mainstays of podcasting.
Like, I would be willing to put more effort in if I knew we could pull something off like that, but I know we can't, so I'm not going to bother.
No, that's bullshit. I know we can. You guys your defeatist attitude ruins my
No,
life.
we could have.
But
yeah, no.
I mean, let's make a Radiolab competitor. Let's do it. Just cool enough lab.
And then go back in time 6 years.
Well, I mean, we don't have to call it just cool enough. We could just we can make different aliases and different names. I'll be Joe Boonrod.
I will say, like, that's like both Dismal Jesters and Fish Shark Marketing had a really big impact on some of the stuff. Because, like, when we do our, like, bits where we, like, start, like, just improvising, making shit up about, like, something, like Physics Baby and stuff like that. I love that moment.
Wait, that's made up? What the hell? All right.
Oh, God. Yeah, but those shows, partly Dismal Jesters and almost entirely, the Fish Shark Marketing is just, like, pure improv. Someone kind of goes with, like, their initiation, and then the others just kind of yes-and it back and forth and turn it into this fucking weird monstrosity that's hilarious.
Ike and I aren't classically trained like you, Eric.
You don't have to be classically trained. You were born a better improviser than you'll ever be trained to be.
Ooh,
How dare you presume that you know anything about my background, Joe?
Eric,
I've done quite a bit of improv.
Yeah, your whole
It's just all
life.
been for children.
I've been teaching them. It's been great. Okay, so Radiolab is an excellent pick, Ike. And it's basically the opposite of Fish Shark Marketing.
Yeah, I mean, if you want Radiolab for people that don't know what it is, put out by
Radio NYC.
NPR and NYC, and it's a variety of different stuff, and
They
it's
cover
about just
everything.
weird, interesting facts, and I just like collecting knowledge about different stuff. So that's definitely why I enjoy it.
Eric, was that the one that was on my list that you were going to talk about?
No.
Okay. Well, what was the other one on my list that you were going to talk about?
You know what it is. Shut up and just plug it.
No, I wanted you to talk about it because I got so many.
Well, no, it's your turn.
Oh, okay, fine. Well, I wanted to talk about Dan Carlin's Hardcore History because that show is life-changingly good. Dan Carlin is a through and through a professional. He also does another show called Common Sense, which I recommend people listen to for whatever reason, for common sense. But Hardcore History is it's a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece of broadcasting, not just podcasting. It's going to stand the test of time because it's about history. So you have these fixed topics that you talk about, like World War II or Attila the Hun or whatever. I mean, the amount of research that he does is insane. And maybe he releases one a month. But you know when that thing pops up in your podcast feed, in your RSS reader, whether it's iTunes or whatever, you're in for a good time. So if there's one show that you gotta listen to, subscribe to Dan Carlin Hardcore History. He goes and he researches stuff at these topics at such a detailed level, and he looks for live accounts of what happened, or the best thing he can get to a live account of what happened, and goes through both sides of whatever encounter he's talking about. So one of my favorite ones is the one that the beginning of World War I. I think it's I forget what it's called, Recipe for the End of the World or Disaster. I don't know. The World War I series that he did was amazing. Normally World War I's like, oh, that's the boring war, but he really brought
It's
it to
not.
life.
That's why they're basing the next Battlefield on it, because it's
I
an
know.
incredibly fascinating war that got overshadowed by World War II.
Right, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, go listen to Hardcore History, especially before you play the new Battlefield 1, because it may give you even a further appreciation for what these guys had to go through in the trenches and stuff on the Maginot Line. So, Ike, what was your other pick?
My second pick would be I want to make sure I got two of them. I'm just trying to be. We'll go with the Moth Radio Hour.
Oh, that's a good one.
I love the Moth Radio Hour. It gets me through doing the dishes, through long car rides, like when I'm not listening to the Radio Lab, the Moth Radio Hour, and it's very moving. I've been very pleased, and everyone's an amateur storyteller, but they're kind of coached on how to do it properly, and I'll admit, I'm not ashamed to admit there have been a few times I teared up a little bit on some of them because they're really well-told stories.
Yeah, that's another good show. Those guys do a good job. That's another NPR podcast, right?
Yeah, I'm a fucking nerd. Whatever.
NPR nerd.
Nerd.
I want to take it over to one of my standbys that I listen to almost every day is Tom Merritt's.
So I don't get to go again? I don't know. So we're just gonna skip him around.
I don't know. You didn't put anything in your notes. I thought you were done.
You, Eric, me, you apparently.
Yeah.
Eric, you said you only listened to like 2 podcasts, so I thought you were done.
No, I was planning out.
Oh.
My next one, fuck you, Joe. I'm gonna say it. Is a podcast a couple of friends of mine run. They do it as a live show at the Nerdist Theater, and
I knew it was going to be Nerdist related. I knew it.
And then they release it later. It's called This American Lie. Not life, but lie. And it's basically them doing This American Lie, but it's completely improvised in front of the audience, and it's hilarious. They do, the tropes and stuff. But for legal reasons, it has no affiliation with NPR. Don't sue them.
This American Lie. That's great.
Yeah, it's like my friend Micah always plays the Ira Glass character, and he does like an Ira Glass impression, but he's like, "Hi, I'm an Ira Glass type," or like, "I'm Schmira Glass."
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I know whose turn is it now? What am I supposed to do?
Now it's your turn.
Oh, okay. One of my picks that I listen to almost every day is the Daily Tech News Show put on by Tom Merritt, and he does live streaming over on Alpha Geek Radio. But Tom Merritt is probably one of the best, most level-headed technology pundits out there, and he's always
technologists.
I was gonna say that, but I didn't wanna because he's.
I believe the correct term is techno-Nazi.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, he's probably one of the best people out there as far as somebody who can
use the term.
I'm not gonna call Tom Merritt a techno-Nazi.
You just did. Burn.
I did that for you, Eric. Yeah. So Tom Merritt he's another guy that can kind of do both sides of an argument, and always has really opened my eyes to both sides of what's going on in a technology ruling of some sort, or just the innovations that are going on, what the impacts are in the world and beyond. So he's one of those guys that I've donated to and am proud to listen to every day. And I might not catch every one of his shows, but I would say I've caught a majority of his shows since Buzz Out Loud days, which is a long time ago. I think it was 2006. So yeah, I've been listening to this guy for 10 years. He's one of those guys that I have that, like, I got the feels for. That's the wrong way to put it.
All right.
No, I'll never get on his show.
No, we're not judging you.
No
You're
judgment.
allowed
No
to have
judgment, so.
feelings for another man. It's 2016.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Don't turn away from your feelings, Joe.
Okay, I won't. What do you
Embrace
got
the
next?
dark side.
No, there's no dark.
Yeah, why?
No, I mean, you said embrace your feelings. I thought that was a line from Star Wars.
No, it's give in to your anger.
Yeah,
Oh.
come on. Get it
My
right.
bad. Sorry.
You can't do the Kessel Run under 12 little fingers. Never mind. What is your next one?
That would be really impressive because Littlefinger's not a very tall man. So if you could do the Kessel Run in that amount of space, because it's a unit of distance, that means you are basically traveling through the event horizon and not having your ship destroyed, which is a fantastic feat of piloting, if I do say so myself.
Then the next podcast, I had to pay 99 cents to get access to, but you can at least on the iTunes store. But it Says You. I love Says You. I don't know if anybody.
That's what it's called?
Yes, finally an NPR show Joe hasn't heard of. This is an NPR show which is actually a game show, less of a podcast, more of a game show, but they put it on podcast form every week. And the idea is that they just quiz each other. There's 2 teams of like three people, and they just go back and forth quizzing each other on different terms or for example, one of them on the team captain on one team will be given a word, and the other team, each person either has to make up what they think the definition is, or one person's given the real definition. They're trying to bluff the other team into picking the wrong answer. But
yeah, I haven't heard of this one. You paid 99 cents for this? How
well,
did
so you get the app, and then you can download all the podcasts through the app. I mean, it's for NPR, so I was like 99 cents, whatever. I enjoy the show, so I don't mind throwing 99 cents their way. Least I could do, but yeah, it's if you want to build your lexicon, this is the way to go. So then you can use words like lexicon.
Yeah.
What if you want to build your zeitgeist?
That's a different podcast. For that, you would need something else. My next is, I haven't listened to it in a long ass fucking time, but I used to like one of my staples, even in my periods where I'm not listening to a lot of podcasts, would listen to Doug Loves Movies, which is just a fun show, kind of a game show where he gets like celebrities and comedians to like play games and talk about movies, and it's fun.
That was another one you've talked about. I'm not going to put that to my list though, because
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. You just, is that how you get your incredible wit and insight when it comes to movies, or is that just all on you?
That's a lot of that's on me, but it did help because they do talk about some real random.
It's the armor of wit. It's that bonus we were talking about on top of the other 2 feats.
No, as long as I'm not wearing armor and I have a joke about myself ready to be. It's self-deprecation magic. I actually have arcane armor, so I'm +2 to armor.
You nerds, nerds and your nerd stuff. I think it's my turn to talk again.
I guess if you have to.
Yeah, I guess.
That's my line.
It's really hard for me to pick 3, so I'm going to talk about a lot more. But I wanted to also talk about...
No, Joe, again, you're breaking the format.
No, just let him. We'll try and fill in.
Freakonomics Radio is another one of my top ones that I get excited about every time I see it in my feed, because I know that a little nugget of knowledge that I didn't have is going to be bestowed upon me from the Freakonomics Radio guys. So they always have an interesting topic to talk about, and it's kind of like Radiolab, where they'll take something and then deconstruct it and then tell you why you shouldn't have thought that way about it and you should think of it in this way, and then you kind of go about your life being a better person for it. So I like shows like that because I think they help improve me and make me more well-rounded and give me an extra viewpoint in the world. So yeah, Freakonomics Radio, go check that out if you're not already, because that's a pretty substantially downloaded show.
Yep.
So Mike, what do you got?
I'm not come up with a 4th one. Damn.
Well, we can
I
use
have
this.
one. I have one, but
I want to fill in this time with.
All right.
We also got on our Facebook page, facebook.com/justcoolenough. We had some listeners reply to your thing. We got Frederick said that he listens to Just Cool Enough. Thank you, Frederick. And the Co-Optional, which is from Total Biscuit and Jesse Cox and Dodger, and then they always usually have a rotating 4th guest, which is pretty fun.
I've never actually listened to Co-Optional.
It's nice. It's also it's video, so it's not. I mean, they basically talk about. It's kind of a this week in video games kind of stuff, and then they get on tangents, which is fun. But yeah, if you're really into video games and
getting
PC,
on tangents, who does that? That doesn't make for good.
No, I
podcasting,
agree.
on
That's
tangents.
the weakest part. It's the weakest part of any podcast, when I won't stand for it. And then Freck, fan of the show, says he listens to Giant Bombcast, Giant Beastcast, which I assume is also on the Giant Bomb Network, the Comedy Button, Outlandish, and something called JCE.
Never heard of that one. I'm gonna go check them out on Shout Engine. I'm sure they're there.
Yeah. I googled Outlandish, and it's a band. I'm sure there's a podcast, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I never heard of Giant Beastcast either, but
I assumed it's related to the Giant Bombcast. Oh yeah, it's a podcast. Outlandish is a podcast I've never heard of with more episodes than us. That makes sense.
wait, really? That's actually one thing that Just Cool Enough has that other podcasts don't. Is normally we have more episodes than the other.
I feel like
podcasts.
these guys, like I just on a very cursory glance of their website, they have just like 10 more episodes, like 5 more episodes than us currently. And
until we do a 5-a-day challenge.
their last episode they talked about the Warcraft movie, so fuck those guys.
Yeah, wait, what
and
the hell?
Yeah.
Are they like Bizarro us, or are we Bizarro them?
They might be. They might entirely be just us in a different. I don't know. I'll have to listen to them. Well, they talk about their podcast, I guess, that talks about Blizzard stuff. So.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what's
Okay.
Blizzard?
I have no idea.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
it's that ice cream thing you get at Dairy Queen.
Oh, the DQ Blizzard. Gotcha.
So if we're really big on the darknet, though, you can't measure our metrics, but we're huge in the darknet.
You got to get a Tor client.
Yeah, get Tor, Onion Router, get on darknet, and then you can see how big we are. We're huge on the darknet.
And then buy drugs.
Don't buy drugs. Just send us Bitcoin.
Well, then what else are you gonna do on the darknet?
Listen to Just Cool Enough, the coolest show on the darknet.
I watch Darkwing Duck on the Darknet.
Don't do that. That's illegal.
Why is watching Darkwing Duck illegal?
I
on the
had some more
darknet?
listener feedback. This was sent as a direct message. And the top 3 podcasts besides, this is from James McIntosh of the Top Dead Center podcast. And he says, his top 3 podcasts besides Just Cool Enough and the Top Dead Centered podcast, the greatest automotive podcast ever that
Built?
had made me on it kind of almost every week.
That's a really long name.
Yeah,
Like they get it.
It's really
They
hard to
should-
type that into iTunes.
Yeah, that's.
go check
It's
it out. If you
not
want to hear me
optimal.
talk about cars every once in a while, the Top
I
Dead
don't.
Centered podcast.
I don't even
Yeah,
like
anyway,
talking about cars
I
on
don't,
the
and you
show.
do it anyways here. So why do I have to listen to you?
Hey,
It's fun.
the thing is, next week he's going to be our guest. So, and we're not going to talk about cars at all. We're actually going to be talking about carrying equipment, and that's the equipment that you carry each day on you. On your,
That Kerrigan brings in Heart of the Swarm.
exactly. Yeah, we're talking
Just a
about
big-
loadouts
yeah.
for Kerrigan. Yeah.
I really like the Halloween one, the best skin with the she turns into a bat.
Anyway, James McIntosh's favorite episodes are the Camden Tub Hooniverse podcast, that's about cars, the Smoking Tire podcast, also about cars, and also one called Gear Geeks Live. And this
Let me guess. That's about steampunk.
It is.
is
Actually about
close.
Gears of War.
Steampunk
No.
role playing.
Gears Geek Live is actually about knives, lights, and gadgets, and that's kind of what we're going to be talking about next week on the Just Cool Enough show, because Ike's leaving.
No, next week I'll be here.
Oh, okay, cool. So are we all?
No,
It's the week
Joe
after
fired
I
you.
won't be.
Oh, okay.
Joe fired you.
Oh,
He
awkward.
outvoted me. He got any.
Oh, whoa! We saw
I
that.
missed that fucking memo. Sorry.
No, it was weird. He voted to fire you. I voted against it. But then somehow he got a proxy for you, which I didn't realize was a thing.
It was in the small print.
Yeah, fuck.
No, actually,
I'm sorry.
I flipped a coin. I voted against myself as well.
It could benefit the show, could hurt the show. But yeah, so next week, if you guys have any emails you want, or what gear do you carry each week? Let me know. Send an email to thisshow@justcoolenough.com, or you could reply on our Facebook page. Just send us a message. We'll read it out. So thanks, James, for sending that in. So James actually talked about a couple of the car podcasts that I listen to. I listen to a lot of different.
No,
podcasts.
I see what just happened. You asked me a long time ago what my other fourth one was. Then I got usurped by Eric, and then we swung around to talk about what you like, Joe.
Yeah,
You
then
usurped Eric. You usurped Ike.
yeah. Well, I was gonna bring the listeners in.
See, if you didn't, you got to listen to those podcasts I was talking about. Your lexicon bigger already. You can see it's working for me.
No, I feel like you.
Listen,
now,
I
Eric's
don't be
Kingslayer.
such a mudraker.
I'm sorry.
A mud. I
Not a mud
haven't-
rapist. That's something
Yeah.
else.
A mud rapier? What? I don't know what's going on. I'm just a Gandhi dancer over here having a good time.
That's
Hey,
okay,
what's your
because
next podcast?
Mudraker isn't a word. It's muckraker. I fucked
Okay,
up.
that makes
we
more
just went
sense.
with it.
Yeah, we should be tar and feathering.
And then
because you said it.
I said it, and then Ike yes-anded me like a good improv partner.
See, I told you I had some improv background, but Joe
Yeah.
didn't believe me.
I didn't say I didn't believe you. I'm
Yeah,
just
you did.
skeptical.
You
I'm
said it with your
skeptical.
eyes. You said it with your
Specifically,
eyes.
You rolled your eyes and said, "Oh boy."
I don't know how to roll my eyes.
My eyes don't go back. I've tried several times. They don't roll back. My fourth one is because I'm all about NPR, because that's really all I listen to ever in the car is NPR. If I'm not listening to my NPR podcasts, it would be almost started it. The NPR weekly news show called yeah,
Wait, don't tell me.
that's the one. I was just seeing if you. Good job, you got it.
It was it?
That was it. That was it. You nailed it. I like. Wait, don't tell.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a great one. That is a great one.
Because I like Daily Show. I like John Oliver. Like it's a nice way to get kind of an audio version of that, and you get to hear some interesting.
Wait, don't tell me. They have a rotating panel of comedians and people, and it's kind of a game show too.
Yes. Which it's kind of it's news show meets Whose Line, because the points don't really matter.
So you listen to two different game show news shows kind of thing?
You listen to 17
one's on words, one's on
podcasts. What do you got to say? It's like, ew, you listen to two news shows? What's wrong with you? One's not enough.
Yeah.
So anyway, the 7th car show I listened to, Jimmy and the Cars.
So what you're
not to be
saying is
confused with Johnny and the Cars, completely different show. They cover every episode is pretty much identical between them, but they're different shows.
So what I really hear you saying is you don't listen to car shows. How can you not listen to car shows? That doesn't make any sense to me.
It just doesn't make sense.
Two news shows and not one car show?
You guys.
Is one of those news shows about cars?
Yeah. Like how many segments do they dedicate each week to cars? None.
I think I should start my own car podcast.
Yeah, because
It worked out so well last time. We were going Eric and I same wavelength.
Yeah, good job, guys.
Yeah. See, it's that group mind thing. You've got improv training. I can feel it. I feel it with you. I feel the connection. There's like this.
How did I become the odd man out? I'm not comfortable being odd man out. You're supposed to be odd man out.
We got this from our BattleNet chat room. Motive says, I love how you guys spend 2 minutes on the guy that pours his heart out and 10 minutes on my fuck, marry, kill. 10 out of 10.
Andrew knew what this email was going to do.
Yeah. He knew that it almost made each one of us cry when we read it individually on our own, but we're not gonna say that because we are too worried about how we are perceived by others.
Right.
He gets that.
Yeah, he understands. Jeez.
And if he doesn't, fuck that guy, man.
Yeah,
Fuck him.
I haven't talked to him in a long time. Okay, so let me just go through my list of different car podcasts here that I listen to. Because
You only get one more, Joe.
okay, I choose a category called car podcasts. All right, here we go. Like I was gonna say before,
Do it
before
real
you
fast, lightning round.
Okay,
Do you have
Smoky
the
Tire
capacity to
Universe.
mute it?
You're interrupting me, and I'm trying
What?
to talk.
Oh, I'm
about how
sorry.
many podcasts I have.
Joe, lightning round.
Scuderia Formula One, the Extra Mile podcast, the Camden.
So, yeah. Was this a dick move? It'll take him a while to realize, but I mean, that's what we do.
Yeah.
He's going to keep going.
Yeah.
For those of you not in the live room, Joe hasn't realized that I've muted him yet, and he keeps continuing on his. Oh, now we realized. Hey, welcome back. Nope, still muted. Wait, let's check in with Joe now. I can't unmute Joe. Joe can unmute Joe.
Tire podcast, the Scuderia Ferrari Formula One podcast.
He's just repeating. He doesn't know many car podcasts. He just keeps doing.
He just keeps saying
Camden
types of cars and adding the word podcast behind it. It's the Ferrari podcast, the BMW
Toyota
podcast.
Isetta podcast, the Toyota Corolla podcast,
Okay. So, anyways, yeah.
Honda
podcasting.
X2000 podcast, 1994 Mark 8.
We're both trying to mute him, and we end up unmuting him. And
No, I
muting
didn't
him.
actually. He unmuted himself. He's getting smart now. He's like a raptor. He's figuring it out.
Clever girl. Yeah, so there are a lot of great podcasts out there. Too many to mention. Ones that I've listened to, ones that I love Comedy Bang Bang and other ones. And, I live in Los Angeles, so I have a shitload of friends who all have really great podcasts that,
Do you know of any good D&D podcasts? I think that's what we need to find.
There are a lot of podcasts that are just guys playing D&D, and it's I want to say guys and girls, but it's mostly guys. There's a lot of really interesting. If you're looking for people playing D&D, you're set. one that comes to mind is Brian Posehn, the comedian, has this one, which I didn't listen to for the longest time because it's called Nerd Poker. And I was like, I don't give a shit about poker. And my friend was like, no, that's Brian Posehn and his comedian friends playing Dungeons and Dragons. I was like, how did I not know that?
So are we disinteresting you yet? Are you disinterested in this topic? I just was checking in, seeing how things are going on your side.
I didn't mute you guys, so that's something.
Don't know where the mute button is. You can't mute both of us, Joe.
I'm not salty about that at all.
But anyways, let's stop talking about all this car shit and start plugging each other.
All right.
I guess I'll go first. My plug for this week was going to be something different, and I'll plug that later. But first off, there's a new web series that some friends of mine worked on, and I helped out with. I did some minor PA stuff, and then helped with a little bit of editing, but mostly some post-audio work called Phone Sober. That just went up today from my sketch group Senior Ditch Day. It's going to be a 5-part little web series, and it's fun. It's about this couple going. It's like a reality show where this couple goes without their phone for 24 hours, and hilarity ensues. It's completely scripted, but it's fun. The two people in it, Ruthie and Dustin, are amazing, and it was a lot of fun to shoot.
Eric, I'm surprised that you didn't mention. Still on podcast here. I'm surprised you didn't.
I'm surprised, Eric, that you didn't mention the Ferrari podcast.
The comedy button, because I know you and I both listen to the comedy button.
I was waiting for you to do it. That's why I was like, that's the only one that I really listen to on a regular basis, even when I'm not listening to podcasts actively. I'll still listen to that one usually. But yeah, I was like, Joe, I'll bring that up.
Oh,
also, we've mentioned it a million times. It also stole half their format. So.
No, we didn't steal half their format. They stole our format. We've been around long.
They've never been aware of us. We just said, oh, what they're doing is kind of like what we're doing. Let's double down on it.
That's what you mean that's what they said about us.
No, that's not what it is. No. And also, to say they stole from us means that they have any knowledge we exist, and also hides the fact that they did the GameSpy debriefings for 2 years before we did this show.
Whatever. I don't know anything about the game. I never.
The GameSpy debriefings was basically the comedy button, but without Max Scoville.
Oh, okay. My plug for this week is it's a car podcast called the Alt F1 podcast put on by the Giant Bomb Network. These two guys actually.
The Honda CR-V podcast.
You're only saying cars that I've mentioned. You can't just take my ideas. That's a podcast.
The Nissan Skylander podcast.
Skylanders podcast.
That one's not about cars, but I like the toys.
Giant Bomb puts on a Formula One show called the Alt F1 podcast. If you're not into Formula One, these guys make it even more interesting. And if you're at all interested into getting into watching the sport, go check it out. Alt F1 podcast put on by Giant Bomb. These guys are awesome. So go check it out. And then also check out the 1987 Chevrolet Cavalier convertible podcast.
There was no 87 Cavalier, I don't think.
No, Joe, I don't have anything to plug because you just stole it. I was going to mention that same whatever podcast you
did.
just.
Way to go.
Cavalier podcast?
Yeah. And you stole that joke from Eric in chat.
Right. Eric knows what I'm about. He likes that show too.
Yeah.
And Eric also calls you out in chat saying bullshit. He owned 5 1987 convertible Cavaliers.
I just assumed you were saying that because you knew I drove a Chevy Cavalier. And I was like,
no, it's not like I made the Astrovan podcast or the Fiero podcast.
Yeah. There probably is a Fiero podcast. Those people are very proud of their cars that never work.
You know what? It's probably on Shout Engine because everybody on Shout Engine does car podcasts. Ike, what's your plug?
My plug is, all the podcasts I mentioned. Go check them out. You'll be smarter for it. And don't listen to Joe's podcast. His are all about cars and nobody's interested in that.
What are you throwing shade at me for?
Oh, and also check out, never mind. Well, go check out Just Fit Enough. We're podcasting, Joe and I, about our fitness stuff. Before it was just us griping about us being fat. Now we're griping with other people about helping us get less fat. So go check out all the great stuff. You'll find it on justcoolenough.com. Hopefully, Joe said it'll be on iTunes. I haven't looked.
Actually,
but
I had a conversation with iTunes support, and things in the next 24 hours, it should be listed again.
Awesome.
What do you mean to get? Oh, wait, what?
Well, let me tell you what happened. So remember how we used to do a show called Just Fit Enough? Yeah. Well, what I did is I hijacked the Just Fit Enough feed, totally deleted everything, put in 4 or 5 new episodes of a totally different named show with different descriptions and everything, and so they shut down the podcast like it got hacked. So
Wow.
they're like, "Oh, Joe," they're like, "Yep, no."
And you're like, no, this is really me. Don't.
Yeah, so I had to prove to them that it was really me and reassociate the podcast with the account. And they
This is
said,
why I'm glad I'm in control of our feed.
"Are you though?"
Yeah.
See, I have the experience. I have the experience of dealing with iTunes directly.
I've had the experience of, for the past 6 years, I've handled it just fine with no problems.
And I've had
so-
the experience of just showing up.
Yeah. I also want to
Where can
plug
people find you?
this Friday, in 2 days from the recording of this podcast, and maybe a day or so from the release, on June 17th at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, the dudes over at Saving Throw, the Saving Throw show at twitch.tv/savingthrow are doing a 24-hour stream of tabletop RPGs that will last all the way till June 18th. The Saturday at 7 p.m. And it's all of it is they are trying to raise money for the Alzheimer's Association. We are actually the Alzheimer's Association.
For what?
What?
Terrible joke.
We've been doing it like the entire
Better
month.
than your fucking joke from before that I keep trying to make funny. It's not working.
I
so
agree.
I'm a little
I
ragey.
agree. But we are already we're trying to raise $4,000. We're already halfway there, and the stream hasn't even started yet. So that's been really great. A lot of people have donated, which has been fantastic. But yeah, the stream is 24 hours, playing a lot of different amazing
Play
RPGs.
Xanadu Valley?
No, but I am playing in 3 games. Starting at 4 a.m., I'm playing Gamma World, which is basically like Fallout meets Dungeons and Dragons. Then at 7 a.m., I'm playing what's called End of the World Alien Invasion, where I'm playing myself trying to survive an alien invasion and failing.
Cool. That sounds awesome. What time is
And
that?
then that's 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the 18th of June. And then at 1 p.m. I will be playing in my regular game of Dungeon World, which is basically Mad Max meets D&D. So you should watch that. I'm the Sorcerer King of a entire city, the legendary free city of Tyr. I'm pretty happy with the progress I've made. It's been a lot of fun. I do a really terrible Russian accent, and a lot of great people play with me. So you can check that out. Maybe donate. Donations, not only do they go to this charity, but donations actually help you during the stream. You can donate like for specific things. Like you can donate, like in our Dungeon World game, you can donate to add bad guys or help us out. And all of the games will have different like donation tiers. Like it's like $5 will heal somebody, and or $5 will add 3 more bad guys to any given encounter, or so you can really fuck with people if you want to, which they do. The listeners fucking love to fuck with us, which is great because it's all for charity.
Fuck with Eric for charity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one.
Who doesn't love to fuck Eric for charity?
You can every time somebody fucks Eric, it's for charity. You can find all the details at savingthrowshow.com, and you can tune in to the Twitch at twitch.tv/savingthrowshow, and I will put a link to our Alzheimer's awareness page where you can donate directly to that.
Jesus.
Huh?
So
imagine it's for charity?
Next week's topic is gear, knives, lights, gadgets, and all the things you carry with you on a daily basis. Send in your comments on that on either the Facebook page, or facebook.com/justcoolenough, or you can send us an email to theshow@justcoolenough.com. What do you carry on a daily basis and why?
Wait, what's the topic on?
Shut up, Ike. You can follow me on Instagram at JoeQCar.
You can always follow me on Twitter at Duncor, D-U-N-C-O-R, or Mostly Shit on Instagram, and also Snapchat, even though I don't think I'm ever going to post there.
And, I don't give a shit about people following me anymore, so whatever.
Yeah.
All right, nice. That was really good. Hey, make sure you check out the Warcraft show too. We have so many things to plug. We did a Warcraft special.
Yeah, we did a exclusive. We did a sort of a short, like, one-off special where we talked about the Warcraft movie, which is on this feed already, or on the website justcoolenough.com, and you can check out our opinions. Also, I figured out how to add album art. So now when you download our podcast, there'll be a little picture there.
Oh, hell yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Is it the one of Joe and the CDs on his nipples?
No,
Because that's
get
a
rid of
really
that
good
and
one to
never
put
talk
on.
You know,
about
I don't have that
Never.
one. You can send that to
I
me.
can hook you up
not,
that.
Do not
In fact, I could put it on justcoolenough.com, and then you can grab it off there just by
Don't
doing
you
save
dare.
JPEG.
Honestly, I think it is on the FTP of the old site still somewhere.
It's still around there somewhere, yeah.
So I have to log in.
I'm gonna make it the 404 page. 404 page not found.
It could be the background on our Twitter page.
Can
Yeah.
someone say
Then
the
that-
F word so we can
that-
end the show?
You know what, Joe? We're trying to have fun here. Me and Ike are really killing
Is
it. And
fun
you-
the word you're looking for? The
and
F
you're
word?
just fucking off.
I feel like you really.
You
like,
need to
meant
say it,
that.
Joe. It's you. Today's safe word. You have to say the safe
No,
word to end
I'm
this.
never saying
Yeah.
the
You
safe
have to
word.
say it,
keep
Joe.
going
We're just
until
gonna
you-
keep going.
No, okay, fine. Eric and Ike, you guys fuck off. I love the listeners. Look at Andrew. He's such a good guy.
I
He's a
love
good
it.
guy.
I don't know if it'll show up on the podcast,
But it definitely
your
glitched
internet
out.
cut out. Yeah, you're like, you guys are
And the
fuck-
listeners.
and I love the listeners.
I hope it does. All right, I'm ending the show now. Thanks for showing up live, guys.